to know that when I was trying to run the codes, so I selected like 3 to 4 sequences and then run. So I was not getting this. Like, do we need to do one by one, step by step, or can we select like 4 to 5 uh, and then do it?
Uh, you can do it.
Because like for me, it's I'm doing it all for the first time, so that
Right,
is why a little bit confused.
right. So you can do it both the ways. If you need the output of only one line, you can run that line, any line out of all lines. Or
Okay.
if suppose there is some task which is done in 3 4 lines, and uh, they have some connection and you want to run all of them in one go, you can do it that also.
Mm.
And all the
Okay.
output will be printed on the console, and then you have to scroll back in the console to see the output of all the lines, because that all of that output will not be cannot be seen in one screen, so you have to scroll for in the console.
Right. Thank you.
All right, so let's begin. Let me share
I
my.
had a small query.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So there was this one code which says NAN, right?
Right.
What was it? Didn't get it.
NAN is called not a number, not a number.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Sir,
Excuse me,
I
sir.
just I have one clarification.
Yeah.
I was not able to do the last command I had told you yesterday. What is this later thing? I tried now using your draft that R script. What is this latest thing? Like latest is a command itself. It's a part of the language, like it's inbuilt out there. So putting out letters will understand that I have to write the letters or something.
Okay. I'll, I'll explain that. Any other question?
Sir,
Yeah.
I had a request.
Yeah, please.
Sir, after this class, could you please share the recording because one of my friend would not be able to join right now and she would be joining late. So it would be helpful if you could share the recording and
Okay. So actually, I made it very clear in the beginning that sharing the recording is something that I can possibly do after discussing with the department at the end of the workshop. So a call has to be taken, and then it can be done. So I'm really sorry for that. I will not be able to share the recording now. Maybe after the workshop, I may be able to do that.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Uh, Hi, sir. Good evening.
Hello. Yeah.
This is Rajni, sir.
Okay.
Actually, today only I came to know about this class. So this is my first class. Yesterday I wasn't there, so I might have missed a lot of things. First class, the basics maybe, because it was also 2 hours of class.
Right.
So I think today's class also will going to be difficult for me. So
Uh, yes, it's going to be a little bit difficult for you because you have to catch up. So you'll have to work a little bit harder than others. But I'm sure you'll be able to catch up, and because it is only the second day. And I'll keep it in mind because there are many other people who are beginners. So I always have it in mind that if there are beginners, the method of teaching and will I will suit it according to the needs.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Any other thing? Any suggestion? All right
Uh,
then. So let's start. I'm sharing my screen and I'll pick up exactly where I left last time.
So, can we have a brief, revision of what happened yesterday so that I can
Okay.
try to catch very brief,
Right.
like 5 minutes.
So let me give 5 minutes to that.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, I think it will be good for others also. So this is the uh, Okay, Rajni, can you tell me you have any sort of background in R? I mean, have you ever
Uh,
worked?
so, I worked on R. I have developed several models, but with the help of friend. But when it comes to basics, what this means and that means. So, with the help of Chat GTP, I tried to work. I have that file too. But if you ask me any question randomly, what this means, why you have done this, that, so I'm not able to answer that.
Got
So
it.
the basic core is missing. That's the objective of attending the class.
Got it.
Yes.
So, all right. So this is the okay. One thing is coming to my mind. It needs your attention, all of you. Like Rajni mentioned that she has run several models, statistical ones and the like, but she doesn't know the basics. That might seem a little bit weird or contradictory to you. That how is it possible that somebody has run some models in a software and the person is saying that the person doesn't know the basics. It is a fact, and it happens with our users that they are able to get the code from uh, different places and uh, they are able to do the task they want to do because these days AI is going to help you get the code and all sorts of online material is there. So it is very much possible to get the entire program for a certain task that has to be done, maybe a statistical model, and you'll be able to get your output. And of course, you know statistics, so you know how to interpret the results. But when it comes to nuts and bolts, what is written in those lines? What does each line mean? Where is that function? What is the use of the function? How can you manipulate your way using the same function in an innovative way? What is meant by a particular line? That is not very clear to many R users who are using R for variety of tasks. So the reason why I try to build on the language in my initial days of any workshop is this very reason that if I am teaching someone, that person should be able to get a hang of the language, and be a natural user of that language rather than having to switch to the internet, look for others' help or things like that. So all these little things they might seem, and one more thing from my experience, I have observed in my previous workshops. I've done several workshops, and what I see is my the participants tend to think that why are we doing all this? There is no statistics in this. There is not much statistics. So because those are new people to the language and they don't know that these are important things, they tend to think like this. So I wanted to make this clear because Rajni gave this explanation that you might be thinking how that is possible. So let us begin. I'll give a quick recap of what we did yesterday. So this is the code that we ran. In the initial 3-4 lines, I will put the cursor on any one line and press Control Enter, and you will see the output in the console. That is the result of the expression. Line number 2, 3 times 10 is 30. Then 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Square root of 25 is 5. Log of 100 is 4.6. And e to the power 1 is 2.71. Log base 10 of 100 is 2, right? The letter pi, which we use in mathematics, it is pi in R. You can round off numbers, absolute value, division, quotient. So I'm just pressing Control Enter. Now here I've created an object A in line number 22. In line number 23, I'm printing A. So I assigned 3 to A, therefore A is 3. In line 24 again, I assign 5 to B. Therefore, in line 25, when I ask R to print B, or I'm asking a question, what is B? It says it is 5. Then A plus B is assigned to C. Therefore, C is 8 because A plus B is 3 plus 5. Now, each object that is being created in R has a class. So, class A, class B, class C, class D, all of these are numeric. If I create an object E and write hello in quotes, it means that hello is assigned to E, and we have to put quotes around hello because this is not a number. Uh, I mean, these are, I mean, oh, this is not a numeric value, but it is some text or string. So the class of E is character. So this is a character. You can't do A plus E because you can't add a number and a character. Then it's a sequence. If you write 1:5, it means I'm saving the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in F. Minus 3 to 3 means this. I've created a object H, and I use the function C because I wanted to put multiple numbers in H, in the object H. So therefore I have to use this C. This is a function in R, and whenever you have to save multiple uh, items in one object, which I named as H, I could have named it Z. You have to use this function C. Now, this function C is actually, it means concatenation or bringing together many items into one entity, into one R object. And we call it a vector actually. So if you see, it says class numerics, and we generally call it a numeric vector in the language of R. Similarly, I can save multiple characters. So we will have a character vector. I've saved true false in ABCD. So ABCD is a logical vector. You can do multiple things when you have a vector. Uh, you can understand a vector to be a variable having multiple values, such as length of H is 5 because there are 5 items or 5 elements in H. Maximum of H is 5, minimum of H is minus 2. Sum of all numbers in H is 6. Product of all numbers in H is 8. Mean is 1.2. Variance is 6.7. Standard deviation is 2.5. Square root, uh, it is not done. It is done, but with a warning message because there was a negative number. So had there not been a negative number, we would not have got this uh, warning message that not a number produced. INF is infinity with a capital I, like 1 divided by 0. You can nest functions. You can nest functions. So you can put a square root function around the variance function, and you can still put one more function around the square root function. That is possible. Using the square brackets is indexing. When I write H3, it means I'm asking a question, what is the third element of H? And it shows minus 2. Give me second, third, and fourth element, and so on and so forth. Then this is the use of square brackets. I cannot put multiple or different data types in one vector. That is not permissible or allowed. If I do it, I'm forcing R to do it, so R will do it, but it will change the class of the objects. It will force the class to be the same. So in this case, if I see class V6, it is numeric. Although I have got this true as one of the elements, which is a logical, not a numeric. But I have forced these three things to be in one vector. So I have forced R to convert true to a number which is possible. So that is 1. And then if I put quotes around numbers, they will no longer act like numbers. They will be acting like uh, characters. You can create sequences using these functions, which you can see later. Uh, those who are new, just run them. You can see the sequences, how it is coming. So somebody asked me about letters, so I'll explain that. Uh, Let me close this and let me start afresh. This will be day 2. So letters is actually a set, right, which exists in R with this name, letters. So it is already a vector, right? So if I check the class of letters, it says character. So it is already a vector which is inbuilt by default in R. And whenever you want to call it, you can call it by letters, and it will give you the set of all English language alphabets, right? Similarly, if you write in capital uppercase, it will give you the English language alphabets in the uppercase. You can subset this vector. You can save it in something, maybe A, right? So I've saved it in A. Now, if I print A, I'll get the letters, and I can subset A. For example, if I want this third element, it will give me a C, right? So it works as if I have created a vector like this. And then I put a A, a B, a C, and up to Z. Then there will be a vector which will contain all the letters from A to Z. Instead of doing it, it is already inbuilt, so I don't have to do it. It's there. Write like this and you got it. I think I cleared the doubt.
Yes, sir. So that means, whenever we type something now, and it automatically comes over there, no option. So that means the part of the program, or what? Like when I press LETT and then a prompt comes up, now we can take up. So it means, is it a part of the programming language?
Yes, everything which is there. For example, if I write
Uh,
MEA, it will show me
mm-hmm.
whatever function is there in R starting with MEA, right? I can select it. So this prompt is always there. Whenever you write something, for example, APP, it will show the apply function because it exists in R. And if I want to use it, I can go ahead with that, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. So today I'm starting with lists. Uh, as I told you that vectors can contain only elements of one data type. Uh, what about if you want to hold different data types into one object? Because vector, if you do it to a vector, you, it will be R will be forcing it to be of one data type, right? But if you don't want to do that, and if you want to keep the character or the class intact, you can do it using a list. So a list can contain multiple types of data. Let me write it here. As against vectors, which can contain only elements of only one data type, right? So that's the function of list. A list can hold several vectors. A list can hold lists. So a list is very uh, it's you have a lot of freedom to hold data into a list because it can hold anything, right? So let me quickly create a list. I will create it using vectors. So I'm creating a vector v1 and I'm putting some numbers there. Then v2 and another set of numbers. Then I'm creating another type of vector. So maybe a, b, and c. And now I want to put all of these into one object, right? What would that be? Uh, Let me make it, so that they are of different length, right? So these three vectors are of different length, of different class. I can put them all in one. Maybe let me create one more, true and false, right? So I can just create a list L1. This is the name given from my side. I can call it list one also, or I can call it ABCD also, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. So I'm calling it L1 and I'm using the list function. So whenever you create a list, you have to use the list function. And you can just put the names of the vectors separated by commas. And here you go. If I print the list, it looks something like this. If I check the class, it will tell that what kind of a list. I mean, what is the class of it? So it's a list, right? So you don't need to bother about how many elements are there, what are the classes of the elements, etc., etc. So the thing to observe here is that when you print a vector, for example, if I print v1, it will show me the elements horizontally. But when you print a list, it will show you the elements vertically. So the first element of
Sir,
the list,
sir, can you please go a little, very little slow because we are.
okay,
Yes, sir. Please, please. Yes, sir.
okay, I'll be slow. I was trying to be fast because I wanted to save time. Anyways, so I'll be a little bit slow. Uh, Here, uh, the vector is printed horizontally while the list is printed vertically. If you look at the output, the first element of the list is a vector, right? So actually, this whole thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this is a vector v1. And this v1 is the first element of the list L1. Then the second element is 2, 2, 3, 5. That is actually the vector v2. This is the second element of the list L1. The third element is vector v3, which contains a, b, z, k. You can see them printed here, right? So this is the third element, and the fourth element is true, false, which is actually vector v4. So this list L1 has four elements. That's why these numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 are written here in the output. And each of these elements has other elements contained in them. So the first element contains 8 elements. Second element of the list L1 contains 3 elements, 2, 3, 5. The third element contains 4 elements, A, B, Z, K. And the fourth element of the list L1 contains 2 elements, true and false. right? Any question on this? There's one more command that we can use to see the structure of uh, the object, which is a list, in this case L1. So it will give you some summary of what is contained in L1. And if you read the output, it says list of 4. So I would add one more word here, list of 4 elements, right? And then the first element in the first line, the second element in the second line, third. So there are 4 lines. Each line here in the output is an element of the list L1. And each of these elements contain other elements. So you can subset or indexing a list, that can be done like we did for vectors. So as I told you last time also, that you can simply write the name of the object, which is L1 in this case, and then start the square brackets. And inside the square bracket, you have to write the position that of what you want. So if I write 2, so I'm asking what is the second element. Let me write it here. Give me the second element of list L1, right? If I run it, it will give me 2, 3, 5, because this is the second element, and of course it contains 3 elements, 2, 3, 5. Right? Any question?
So just one clarification. When you talked about the class of L1, na, line
Yeah.
14 and 15,
Yeah.
so it's list. The it's the excuse me. The class is list. You're saying, right?
The class is list, yeah, because L1 is a list,
Okay. But
right?
then so it's a command that we are giving, isn't it? Function list.
Okay, let me write one example here that might clarify this. Suppose I'm writing L1 C 2, 3, 5, 10. Now, if you check the class L1, it is numeric vector actually, right? Because on the right hand
Okay.
side, I used C, and what I wrote is a numeric vector. So L1 is just a name given from my side. If you check the class of L1 now, it will not be a list, it will be a vector, right?
Okay. So the class of V4 line 12 will be logical in that case. If
Line
we
12?
check the
Yes, of course.
12, it will be logical, right?
Yes,
Because we have given true and false.
class V4 is logical.
That means it depends, the class depends on the type of functions that we are assigning to that
Class
object, isn't it?
V3 is character. Class V2 is numeric, right?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, that brings us to one more good point, that you can override whatever was written before. So before, I was L1 was actually a list, but later in line 24, I rewrote L1 to be a vector. So from now onwards, L1 will no longer be a list; it will be a vector, right? So the latest assignment will be will be taken, and whatever was done in the past will be overwritten.
Hmm. Okay. All right.
Okay, so let me rerun all those lines, because I want my L1 to be a list, right? So I'm running all this in one go. Okay, now I'm back to where I was. Right. So this is the list. You can create a list L2. Uh, I mean any list. Uh, you don't have to create vectors first and then write. Use those vectors to create a list. You can go outright and use the list function, and then you can you know write inside the list function the vectors, right? 2, 3, 5, and then comma v2, or even you don't have to write v1 v2. Just write the whatever you want to store in it, right? For example, this, and then I can write another vector, maybe a b c d, and run it. And now L2 is a list with 3 elements, and if you check the class, it is going to be a list. So list can be created like this. The reason why lists are used is that at times we need to store multiple data types into one object, and vector does not permit us to do that. So we use lists in those cases.
So
Yeah.
for list one, you mentioned V1, V2, V3, different commands. For these two, you have not given any. You directly put the numeric character and the logic over there.
Yes. Yes. I put the vectors here. So this is one vector, comma, this is the second vector, comma, this is the third vector. And what I did here is v1, comma, v2, comma, v3. So instead of first creating vectors and then writing the names of the vectors to create the list, I can go straight to the list function and write the vectors instead of first creating them outside the list and then bringing them into the list. Right? So it works both ways, however you like it. If you already have the vectors, you can go ahead with writing the names of the vectors in the list. They will become parts of the list. And if you don't have the vectors, you have to create the vectors. Then you can directly write the vectors in the list function,
मेन गेट पे कोई है डोरबेल बजाया है तो देखिए
right?
चलो यस सर
All right. Uh, Let me,
Is there uh,
yeah,
is there a way of getting to these are happening in 2 dimensions, right? The list would be, or how in terms of dimensions, how does one describe this? So if I want to think of it as a matrix, can I get to can I understand, can I get to one particular, say, uh, A12 kind of a position? Can I get it from that list?
okay. So this is not a matrix. Point
This
number
is
one.
not right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is a list, right?
Hmm.
And there's a difference between matrix and a list. A matrix has uh, some rows and some columns. So all columns have same number of elements, and all rows have same number of elements. So a matrix is rectangular,
Right.
but a list might not be rectangular. It may be rectangular, but you are free to choose the number of elements in each row. Or I mean, we don't even say row in case of a list. We just say element. That's why I use the word element, not row or column,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
right?
Right. Right.
So,
Okay.
but why do we do this list function? Like, what is the usage of, uh,
This line 23.
huh? Like we are,
Okay. So if you have to create a vector,
Hmm.
Right? One, you have to use a C,
Okay.
right? Similarly,
Fair enough.
you have to create a list.
Hmm.
List one, you have to start with the list function and then open parenthesis and close parenthesis. And in the middle of these two, you can write what you want to store in this list, right? This is
Is it
mandatory.
something so is it something synonymous to the like the way we do the list of things to do? Is it something like I'm not understanding the hang of it, like why we are using this list function, like when you're putting so many things like numeric thing and then logical thing and then a character thing also, what's the point of doing this listing thing?
So I did not mention that why and when we will use list yet.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Mm-hmm.
I just said that
Okay.
if
Okay.
if you have to store multiple data types in one
Okay.
object in any situation XYZ, if it is required, we can use a list. So as far as the usage is concerned, it might come your way and you will understand because I will not be able to create a scenario right now to explain that, and it's not a good time to explain that.
So in a just one liner list of things where we can store up things, right, of different
Yeah,
type, of different class, with numeric, logical,
yes,
or
yes, that
okay,
cannot be done
to
with a vector.
understand. Acha, acha. Just to understand in that sense. Okay, fair enough. Thank you, sir.
Right. All right. So
Sir, one last.
yeah, yeah, please, please.
Sir, about this class L2, we are getting this L2, you mentioned L2, but the variables we show in the result side, it is showing the L1 list, like 1 to 8, the numeric, and also L2, 2, 3, 5, both. So this is
Okay,
amount.
can you tell me line number?
Sir, 25, sir. Command 25.
Okay, line number 25,
Yes.
class L2. So when you run this line, it says a list. Why? Because L2 is indeed a list. I created it using a list function. So whatever I create using a list function, it's going to be a list. That's why the class is list. So the fact that it can contain different data types is its quality or its characteristic, right? So it has this quality. A list has this quality that it can store different data types with unequal number of elements in each element, right? So by definition, a list is like this, and this is a class also, like numeric vector, character vector, or logical vector. A list is a list. It you don't have to use any adjective like what kind of elements it is holding because it can hold any type of element, right? Any other question?
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, when we run the code, so the output comes in the console. So what does the one in the close bracket indicate?
Uh, this square bracket.
Yes, yes, sir. In the console, one in the square bracket.
Okay, the first one or the second one?
Yeah, both, sir. Both, sir.
Okay, the first one indicates the first element, and the second one indicates the first line of the first element. This two indicates second element of the list L1, and the second this, this one just below two, it indicates this is the first line of the second element. If I store 100 items here, okay, let me show you. I am just copying this and I'm calling it L3, and here I am storing 1 to 100, right? And let me run this. And now let me print L3. Now the first element is 1 to 100. and this is the first line. I mean, first element of the first line. This is the second line, and it starts with the 20th element, which is 20, and then the 39th element is 39, and then 96th element. This line is starting with 96th element, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines in the first element, and then we come to the second element, first line, third element, first line. Got it?
Yes, yes, sir. Got it, sir.
So, but I'm still confused. Like, before running L223 command, you
Hmm.
did L1, then the bracket, and then 2.
Hmm.
Then you ran L2, but for L327 command, you didn't do that.
Okay.
So,
All right. So let me clarify. Uh, there is no relation between line 22 and line 23. No relation whatsoever.
okay, sir.
No relation. In line number 22, I am asking, give me second element of list L1. That's it. So when I run line 22, it will give me second element of list L1.
That is.
And then line 23, I'm starting afresh, starting with a new list L2, and then what follows after that is, you know that, right?
So for indexing, so you we use the square bracket only, na?
Yeah.
Whichever element we want, like second only, second, third
Yes.
only, three, and all that.
Yes.
Sir, in the bottom console, why 1, 21, 41, 61 are in square bracket? Is there any reason or just like that to display?
Uh, 1, 1, 20,
See the
39.
number, the count. Yes, yes, yes.
So this 20 in my, I mean, if I extend this a little bit more, and then let me run it once more. Now these numbers have changed because I give more space to fit
Oh,
these numbers,
okay, 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 okay.
right? So what this 53 means in my screen
Hmm.
means the very first element in this line is the 53rd element of all the elements in the first element of list L,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
That is
Fine.
what. Okay, I think the numbers are confusing, so let me change it. So now I'm changing 1 to 100. I'm writing letters, and there will be 26 items. So I'm squeezing the space so that it will not fit in one line. And now I'm running it again. And now you can see that the 18th element is R, or this line starts with the 18th element, which is
Got
R,
it, sir. Got it, sir.
right? Okay, so let me quickly come to the matrices so that you get a clear distinction between a list and a matrix. So matrices are rectangular objects in R. Not in R, we know matrices are rectangular objects. And uh, there will be, I'm not writing all of this, I'm just speaking. So matrices would be, a matrix would contain equal number of elements in each row, and it will have equal number of elements in each column, and it will have some rows and some columns, at least two rows or at least two columns. Because if you have only one row, it will be a vector. If you have only one column, it will be a vector, right? To give it the second dimension, you have to have at least two rows or two columns. And both, I mean, both two rows and two columns. So a 2 by 2 matrix is the simplest possible matrix that we can have. And the last thing is that a matrix would contain elements of the same data type, like a vector. So how can we create a matrix? Uh, I can simply write M1. It is a name given from my side. You can write matrix 1. You can write ABCD, whatever you want. I'm writing M1, and the function is matrix. This is the function. Like list, like C, we have matrix. And it will have some arguments separated by commas. This function is written uh, by, by writing arguments separated by commas, right? So the first argument will be the elements that you want to put in the matrix. So I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So this is the first argument. What are the elements you want to put in the matrix? Right? The second argument will be how many rows you want. N row equals to 2. At least these two arguments are required. So I'm starting with only these two arguments, and I will simply run this line and I'll print the matrix. And here is your matrix. It contains the numbers that I gave it, and it has two rows, row 1 and row 2. And of course, if there are 6 elements and there are 2 rows, automatically there will be 3 columns, right? I can check the class of the object M1, and R will tell me that it is a matrix or array. Suppose I want different, whatever elements I want to put here. Okay, one more thing. The elements are filled column wise. So 1 and then 2 in the same column, and then 3, 4, then 5, 6. So the filling is done column wise, right? Any question on this?
So, so the matrix created is in the even and odd form. So for row, the 1, 2, 3. So you taken 1, 3, 5 for the row 1. For second row, 2, 4, 6.
No. It has taken, it has filled the first column, then second column, then third column.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this way.
So the numbers are, the elements are filled column wise,
Okay, sir.
right? So if you can mention the number of columns, 3, instead of number of rows. One of these two are required. So okay, one more element is required. So 3 columns, and M2 will again be the same matrix, right? Because I said 3 columns, automatically if there are 3 columns, there will be 2 rows because there are 6 numbers. Now suppose I
So,
want
but
to,
sir, how does it decide the numbers that one will be in and two will be in the second row?
no, it has filled the first column first. So the first two
Hmm.
numbers went to the first column, and the next
Acha.
two numbers 3 and 4 went to the second column.
Acha, taken first two. Acha. The first two numbers in the first column, the next two numbers in the second column, like that.
Yeah,
In the case of column. And what about sir rows? There will be 2 rows. So it will automatically take like that only, or that also.
yes, because I said 3 columns in line 34.
Huh.
So in order to get three columns, it has to be two rows.
Okay.
Right?
Logically. Okay. So we do not have to put any extra command for that, right?
No.
So and okay.
But if you want to fill them row wise, not column wise.
Hmm. Hmm.
So suppose I want two rows, and
Hmm.
now I can write another argument after a comma by row equals
Hmm.
false equals
Hmm.
true. Then you'll see that numbers are filled
Hmm.
row wise.
Acha.
So the third argument that I have written is by row. So by row argument, if it is true, the elements will be filled row wise. If it is false,
Acha the Acha.
the elements will be filled column wise.
The first three elements they're taking in the first row, one, two, three, and then next three elements, four, five, six in the second row, right? By row equals to
Exactly.
two. Had
Exactly.
it been false, sir, then what would have been the result output? If
And
by row equals to false, would have been
then the
if
number
you
then,
read.
then you would get M2. You would get this M2.
Acha. Okay.
Right? Another good way to form a matrix is using uh, R bind. R bind means row bind. So I'm telling, okay, bind the rows. So I have to provide the rows. So I'll provide the rows, right? One, maybe let me use different numbers. Okay, my battery is draining, so let me put the charger. All right, so this will be the first row, and then this will be the second row, and this will be the third row. So I've asked R to bind the rows, and that's how you can get the matrix. So I gave it three rows separated with commas inside the R bind function. So R bind function means row bind function. So I'm asking R to bind the rows. So it bound the rows. I can use the C bind function also, where if I copy the same from here and run it, then it will bind them as columns. C bind means column bind. So in line 40, I'm saying bind the columns, and I am providing the columns. Any question?
Sir, sir, can you please explain this difference between n row and bi row?
Okay. N row is number of rows. So if I want two rows in my matrix, I'll write n row equals to 2.
Okay.
And by row means I'm asking R to fill these numbers by row. So it will fill the numbers by filling them row
Okay,
by row. Row
row
by row.
wise.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we are not directing how many rows like we were doing in n row.
Yeah. We are not directing how many rows because we are providing the rows. So if we
Okay.
provide three rows, there will be three rows. I don't have to tell that there should be three rows because I
Mhm.
provided three rows. So those will be bound together.
Okay. Thank you.
right? So let me move forward. Subsetting. So put the square bracket after the name of the matrix, and then, for example, if I write 2, it will give me a -2. If I write 6, it will give me a 2. You can see that the second element of M5, so I'm asking the question, give me the second element of M5. And here I'm asking the question, give me the sixth element of matrix M5, right? Now, if I write M5 square bracket 2 comma 1, it will give me -2. Can you see why?
Second row, first column.
Second row, first column, exactly. So give me the element at the intersection of second row and first column. Give me the element at the intersection of the second row and first column. That is 2 comma 1. So inside the square bracket, you can give two indices, a row index and a column index, a row index and a column index. So the first one to the left of the comma will be the row index, and the one to the right of the comma will be the column index. That's why 2 comma 1 means what is the element at the intersection of the second row and first column. Similarly, I can try 3 comma 2.
Sir, just one clarification. When you are using this thing, like N5, N5 is C bind, right? You have binded
Yeah, M5 is a matrix.
a matrix where you have combined these numbers, columns, right?
Yeah. So you can see
So when
M5
you're
on the
asking 6, give me the sixth element of this matrix N5. So how is it counting? Like it's going vertically or it's going
vertical.
horizontally?
It's going
One,
vertically.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, right? Okay, vertically it will go.
Vertically.
Okay.
This counting vertically by default.
So what about N4, sir? In that case, N4, if we ask this thing, second element or sixth element, it will go horizontally or vertically in
Vertically.
that
Every
case.
time it will go vertical.
Acha, whether it's row bind or it's column
Uh-huh.
bind, it will go
Uh-huh.
vertical.
It will
Acha,
go
acha, acha.
vertical.
It's because ultimately it's a matrix. That's what
Yeah,
actually I'm
ultimately it's a
saying.
matrix, and then once you have
Okay.
a matrix, however you
Mm-hmm.
found it, it's a matrix.
Okay.
Right. So suppose I want second row, comma, nothing. So it will give me the second row. 2 comma nothing means all elements, all columns. 2 means second row, comma, nothing means all elements. Oh, sorry, all columns. Second row, all columns. Right. Similarly, I can write comma 2, which means elements of second column. Let me write M5 2 comma C 2 comma 3. Can you visualize line number 49 in the matrix and the output in the console? So
Sir, what is the interpretation of this 49th line? Second row.
second row, give me the elements at the intersection of second row and second and third column. That is the interpretation.
Sir, can you please explain line 46?
46 is give me the elements, rather element at the intersection of third row and third.
Third column.
Actually, sir, C is for concatenate, you said, isn't it? In
Yes,
yesterday's class.
yes.
So when I'm using in this matrix form to find the element of the second row, and the C 2 by 3 means what? The intersection in that sense of the second row and the third column.
No. Uh, what it means is, uh, okay, let me put it like this. There is a comma here.
Mm,
There is something which there to the left of the comma, and something is
mm,
there on the right of the comma. This comma,
mm, mm, mm,
right?
mm,
The
mm,
thing to the left is the row
mm.
index.
Okay.
So I'm looking for the second row.
Second row. Fine.
And the thing to the right is
Mm,
uh, a vector
mm.
which is representing two columns, second and the third column.
Acha.
So what is at the intersection
Okay.
of the
Mm, mm,
second
mm,
row
mm,
and
mm,
second and third column?
mm. So zero
Because
three. Okay.
because I
Second
have
row, second
because
column, second row.
because I had to give two indices, second and
Mm,
third column. Therefore, I
mm,
have to use C. I was forced to use a vector
mm,
for the index of the column because there were two columns.
mm. So as you said in yesterday's, concatenate means join together or putting
Yeah,
together.
joined
So
together as
putting
one entire.
second,
Yeah.
second and third column and second row. So zero three takes. Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
And sir, for class also, small c is a representation for class. Okay, no, it comes as class. ठीक है sir, थोड़ी confusion हो गई थी. Okay, clear.
So class is different and C is different. C is to concatenate and class you write the whole word class M5. So you got it like this.
Sir, can you please explain the difference between 47, line 47 and 48? Is it the
Line,
same? No, no, okay, okay. There is this difference of row and column. So we indicate it through comma, through the usage of comma.
anything to the left of the comma indicates row. Anything to the right of the comma indicates column,
Column. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
right?
So
Yeah.
after every command for M2, M3, you simply write M3, M1, M4. So that signifies anything? Like simply like 41, you have write M5 as it is. Before
Yeah.
that, you have define it.
Yes.
So it what does it signifies?
So line number 40 is the code to create a matrix with these numbers. Line number 40. Now, once I run this line, I got a matrix created, right? Now I'm calling it. I'm calling it by its name,
So
right?
it is necessary to do that after
Yeah.
every.
So once M5 is created, if I want to print it on my console, I have to write its name and press Control Enter, and then it will print it. That what is M5? That's what I'm asking. I'm calling it.
Calling it.
If you want to call some object, you have to write its name and press Control Enter, and it will appear on your screen.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, one last. Sir, I still have not understood why class M5 is important here. It
Class
signifies.
M5 is important.
Yes, sir.
It's not important. You can delete it. It's not required,
Okay, sir.
right? It has nothing to do with what we are doing. If you suppose um, I created M5 and now I want to ascertain that did I create a matrix or did I create a vector? I mean, I can't be so naive that I don't know, but still, if I want to clarify it from R, I'll say, okay, tell me what is the class of M5. It will tell me it's a matrix. So this is an independent line that I've written just to check.
So, so is array is also a class?
Yeah, matrix and array actually. Uh, Array is a generic word,
Hmm.
right? And matrix is a specialized word for the matrix as we understand a matrix, what it is, right? Uh, you can visualize a three-dimensional array also, right? So that will not be a matrix, but the
Hmm.
word array will apply to that also, while a matrix is just two-dimensional.
Hmm.
So a matrix is also an array, so you can use
So
them
broad
interchangeably.
category or broad class is array, and matrix is a special case of array. You can say that, since you're talking
No,
about
no, no,
two-dimensional
no.
versus
I just
three-dimensional.
explained to you the dictionary meaning or a mathematical meaning of
Oh,
array
acha,
and matrix. But in R,
acha.
uh, both of them can be used. Both are the names of both are the classes of this object.
So what did you say about the three dimension? I didn't get that part. You said the matrix is a two-dimensional thing,
Yeah.
and it can be classified or
So
as array.
it is
And what
also
about two? Huh.
it is also an array. Matrix is
Hmm.
also matrix is a two-dimensional array. Let me put it like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Matrix is a two-dimensional array,
Okay.
right?
Okay. And what about this three-dimensional? You said that is also an array. You see, right?
Yeah, you can have a three-dimensional array, four-dimensional array.
Hmm.
Hard to visualize. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
no need to go into that
Hmm. Hmm.
mathematics, but
Oh, okay.
those concepts exist, and we do have such arrays. We can visualize them.
Hmm. So actually, array is a computing term, right? Which means for arrangement or something, isn't it? Like term
Um,
used.
Let it be a computing term or a mathematical term. So, I mean,
Okay.
general generally we understand it like that.
Okay.
All right. So let us move forward. Right. Next thing is data frame. Typical.
Sir, why this array metrics and all important, sir, for our study?
Uh, See,
Without converting this, we can't perform this hour, sir.
okay, good question. Why is matrix important for our study? Right? Why are we doing this? Right? So we we already knew what is a matrix, right? All of us knew it, and but while creating the matrix, we learned how to use vectors, how to deal with rows. We learned how to use the cbind command. We learned how to subset two-dimensional data structures. So whenever you analyze the data, you have rows and columns in your data. If you want to call a particular row or a column or a combination of rows and columns, you would want to know how to communicate this to R. So we learned how to use square brackets when we have two-dimensional data structure like a matrix with us, right? So while we were learning, we were calling it that we are learning matrix. Actually, we were learning the R language. You got my point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So yet another rectangular data structure in R, similar to matrix. So what's the difference? Okay, let me first create a data frame uh, using vectors, or let me directly create a data frame because I want to save time. So instead of showing you two methods, I'll show you only one direct method. Uh, I'm creating a data frame df1. I have to use the function data.frame, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. So this is a function data.frame that is used to create a data frame. Like we used cbind, rbind, matrix for matrices, like we used a C for vectors, we use data.frame for data frames. On the left hand side is a name given to this data frame from my side. You can give it any name of your choice. I'm calling it df1. Right. Now I'm just putting some data here. So I'm calling names equal. Okay, let me call names. Let me not do it like this. Let me directly put some vectors here. So Alex, Bob, Stephen. Three things just to save time. Okay, one more thing at this point I want to tell you is it's a good idea to switch lines. Whenever you are writing code, uh, you can write it in good, neat way, or you can write it in a you know bad way. Although it will work even if you're writing it in not in a neat but and not in a tidy way but untidy way, the code will work, right? So I can go on writing in one line maybe 200 300 words, but that is a bad idea because when somebody reads that code, the person has to you know move the cursor along a row for a long time, and it will not fit to the width of this editor. So press enter after the comma. So a good way is after any comma, you can switch your line by pressing enter, not control enter, but enter, right? So I've pressed enter after the comma, and then I'm writing 23, 35, 80. And then again a comma, and again I'm switching line. R will take it to the right position automatically, right? R is intelligent enough to understand what's going on and where should I take the cursor if somebody has hit enter after a comma, because R knows that the code is yet to finish. There is going to be something else coming up, right? Okay, now another vector. Okay, let me put another name here, not okay. That's my data frame. Let me print it. So, or let me view it. Another command to see a Excel-like table in R is view, VIEW with a capital V, right? So I've created a data frame and it has 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's my data frame. Now, if you see the headers, they're sort of weird. What 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 we would be expecting to be here? Can you tell me what should be written here as the headers of these 4 columns?
Name, age, gender, something like column names can be assigned.
Categories maybe to identify what category are we studying.
You exactly right. So it should be name. So let me give a name to it. So I'm writing names equals this. Here I'm writing age equals this vector. And now I'm writing gender equals this vector. And here I'm writing maybe uh, marital status equals this. And let me run it again. And let me view it again. Okay, it looks neat now. So this is a typical data set that we use for our data analysis, where we have rows and columns, and each column is a variable, and each row is an observation. So I have 3 rows, so there are 3 observations, uh, and there are 4 columns, so there are 4 variables, and this is actually a data set, and we call it data frame in R. Right now, can you tell me how is it different from a matrix?
Because metrics will give you, we are not giving the names identity to the metrics, we are just giving the numbers to metrics.
Okay.
Metrics can hold only numbers, whereas this data dot frame can carry different kinds of different data types. And when it comes to when we are working with time series data, I think it's better to use data dot frame if we have to work on a certain type of certain number of variables.
Okay. Anything else?
Sir, these are related to one another. In matrix, they are not related to one
Okay.
Also, can this be irregular or does it have to be regular in terms of the number of rows and columns?
Very good point. Very good point.
This one we can use for analysis purpose. Metrics we can't do analysis.
Okay. Great. So all of you are right. Let me put it technically. Of course, all of you were right. Uh, a data frame can contain multiple vectors, with each vector acting as a column of the data frame. A data frame must be rectangular. On the other hand, a matrix does not contain vectors as columns. Although they are vectors as columns, but then but each vector, I mean, can hold a particular type of data, and two different vectors can hold two different types of data, one for each type, right? Which can happen in data frame, but not in matrix. So has it been a matrix, all of these would have been either numbers, or they all have been logicals, or they all would have been characters. But here we have a mixture. But that mixture is not random. Each column is a vector, so each column cannot hold two different data types. So the column names will be holding only characters, while age will be holding numbers, gender will be holding MFM, and marital status would be holding logicals, right? Both matrix and data frame, both are rectangular. This is the similarity. So you cannot have 3 elements in names and 10 elements in age. So if there are 3 elements in names column, there has to be 3 elements in age column, because somebody said that they are related. So these columns are related to each other, right? So a typical data set that we use for analysis is actually a data frame in R, right? When you import data into R from Excel or some other format, it will be imported as a data frame automatically, right? Right now, you can,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah, please.
Sir, in data frame, I'm getting unexpected symbol. Like I've written same as you have written, but I'm getting error like unexpected symbol.
Sir, the same issue I have also found. It says error in view object df1 not found.
Okay,
Yes, sir, same issue here.
okay. So actually, you all are writing with a small v. You have to write with a capital V.
No, sir, I have written capital V.
Yes, I am also writing capital V.
Okay. In that case, did you write it
Sir,
exactly as I have written?
sir, yes, sir. Sir, I just want to ask, if something like this happens, so can we do a little bit of editing, or do we need to delete everything and type
No, you can do the
afresh?
editing. You can do editing. Just put the cursor there, delete, add,
Okay,
everything.
okay.
Just have a look at how I have written it. Maybe you are missing a comma. So after every line, there is a comma. And one more thing, when you are switching the line, you have to press enter. Don't press space bar for switching the line. So you must have been doing one of these mistakes, I'm sure.
Sir, I have just one clarification to ask. When you're using this logical vector for marital status, like
Yeah.
this is like the data entry thing, isn't it? Like I'm putting the
Yes.
names Alex, Mary, Stephen. This
Yes.
is equivalent to how we do data entry in Excel, or right?
Exactly.
So the same thing we are doing it in the form of data frame in R.
Right.
So when I'm using this logical, so this data are given, right? The name, age, and gender is given by the respondent itself that we are
Right.
filling in. So when I use this logical vector now, like marital status, in this case you have used, for example, so this true, true, false, uh, is it the software understanding that you have to assign true,
Okay.
true, like this or
Okay.
false? I'm not getting it. So because
Okay.
suppose I'm writing marital status, married, single, widow, something like that, isn't it separated or something?
That's possible. You can do like that.
But
Completely
how
fine.
does this logical vector comes into this
No, I have written
data
logical
entry thing?
vectors. I have
Oh,
written logicals here. You can write
uh,
married, 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 and married. You can write 0, 1, 0, 1, or you
acha,
can
acha,
write true, false. It doesn't matter at all.
okay. No, I thought logical vector is usually used
No,
when we pose some question and the programming has to understand that if it's true, if this is statement, then true, or else false. It's not that something like that, isn't it?
nothing. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Doesn't matter because at the end of the day when we are doing data manipulation, data transformation,
Hmm.
we can always change it at any point of time, it's not that you have written
Hmm.
true false. So I can convert true false to 0, 1 in one place. I can convert true
Acha,
false
acha.
to married unmarried. I can write a b. It's okay, it's completely fine.
Okay. So we could have used this also, no? Like the way you have used gender, male, female in string codes. So married and all that we can write also that one, no?
Yeah.
So
you,
there's no.
you know
Hmm.
why I use this true false here is for
Hmm.
pedagogical reasons, because I wanted to show you that I'm using different data type, different vectors
Acha,
here,
acha, acha.
right? So this is a see, names is a character vector, age is a numerical
Hmm.
vector,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
gender
Hmm. I got that.
is a factor, marital
Hmm. Hmm.
status is a logical vector. So just to show you that,
Hmm. Okay,
and,
okay. No, I
and
thought logical vector has some function to play when we are
no,
doing this data entry thing at
no,
person.
nothing like
Okay. Okay. And sir, one more clarification when you're asking about the difference between this matrix versus data frame. Data frame, actually, it's a data entry thing, isn't it? The way we will entry data.
that, right?
If there are small sample size, then we can put entry of 10 or 100 observations we want. If it's a large scale data, like we use secondary source data like NFS or HDS, and then we put entry. It's similar to that thing, the way the data, secondary data will be presented, isn't it? When we import it into our, right? That is what data frame is all
Exactly,
about.
exactly. As I
Okay, and
said that
matrix has not, and metrics has nothing to do with the data entry. I think it's just a visual presentation, or like it said, right? It's array of numbers that we want to put in, isn't it? Of whichever rows and column form, like two into
right, right,
two or three. Into
exactly. You're right. Okay, so you can do
Somehow this command view df1 is not happening for us. I don't know why.
Same, same here. I also tried all all the possible means.
so if
Yes, so for me, that next page, that BF1 is not coming.
okay. So first you have to make DF1 to work 55, 56, 57, 58. If it works, then 59 will work, right? So I think you can just write everything in one line without switching line and then see if it
Okay.
works. I think it will work. Just put everything in one line. Put the cursor here and do the delete part like this. Take it there and then start just pressing delete and take it there and then do it like this so that everything is in one line like this, and then it will work. If you are missing on the line switching part, do it like this, but I'll keep it the tidy way. uh, and remember this is capital V in view. All right. So, and okay, one more thing. If you are using small letters D, F1, you have to use small letters because R is case sensitive. That is also important.
C is also small.
Is it is it if you leave a space in between, how does it treat? Will it be taken as error?
Uh, it won't be taken as error. It it will still work.
It should work. Okay.
No, but between df1 there should be no space because that's the name. For example, if I leave a space after a comma everywhere, that works. So I'm just leaving spaces after the commas, and now I'm running it again. It's working beautifully. No issues whatsoever. Right. All right, so you can try it later. Let me show you a few more things. Uh, you can use square brackets as you used for matrices, right? For example, second row, second column is 35, and then df1 second row is the complete second row, which is second element, which is the second vector actually. You'll get the same output, but horizontally. If you write comma 2, df1 2 comma nothing will give you the second row, and so on and so forth. You can do it as we did with matrices. There is no difference in subsetting, right? Okay, you can write head. Okay, I'll show you later this thing because this is a small data set. You can write names df1 that will give you the names of the columns. You can write call names also. I misspelled. This will also give you the same thing, names or column names. You can write summary df1. It will give you a summary of the data. Okay, let's talk about import and export of data because now the time is running and I have 20 more minutes. I want to do this today. So I'm leaving a few things just to save time. Import and export data. Right. So I already have df1 in my environment. I want to save it onto my computer as an Excel file or as a comma separated value CSV or in any format. That is called exporting the data. And suppose you have some file in your system and you want to bring it into R, that is called importing the data. Right. So let me first export df1 to my computer in Excel or CSV format. First thing that you have to do is write get wd. This is called get working directory. So I want to see what is my working directory, right? So a working directory is a folder in my computer which um, assigned by myself, or let me say set by myself, set by myself. I can read and write files from that folder. To put it in very, very plain and simple words, right? So I have to set it actually, which folder in my computer will act as the working directory. Whenever you work uh, data analysis or whatever you're doing using data, you should set a folder as your working directory and you should put your data in that folder so that it is easy to import uh, data into R. And if you are writing a file or you are exporting a file, a data from your R onto your computer, then it will be saved in that folder, right? So that folder is to be set. So let me set my working directory to desktop. For that, you can set it to any folder, right? So I'll go to session at the top. You can see this session tab. Go there, click on set working directory. When you take your cursor to set working directory, you will see an option called choose directory. You have to click on this, choose directory. When you click on it, a dialog box will open.
So
And
please repeat because nothing is coming for setting the folder.
okay, let me do it again. Go to sessions, session tab, then go to set working directory from
Oh,
the
so
top.
what is the session tab, sir? Which one is the session tab?
Just see at the top.
Go to file oblique function.
No, there is a there is one drop down menu called session. Can you see it? What about others?
Yes, we can see that.
So just click on choose directory. When you click on it, it will open a dialog box, and there you have to show the path to that folder. So it's going to be desktop for me. So I'll click on desktop and click open. So then desktop will be my working directory. So R will be able to read and write files from the desktop.
So can you show this again? I also missed it that part. Get a working directory and all set working directory.
Uh, you can go to the very top ribbon of your R Studio. You will find a session tab there, session. Click,
Oh, okay. Got it, got it. New session set working directory. Okay, got it, got it, got it, got it.
and then you bring your cursor to set working directory, and then you bring your cursor to choose directory and click on it. Once you click on it, it will there will be a dialog box, and in the dialog box you can show the path to that folder and click open. Once that folder is selected where you want to keep your files or read files or write files to that folder, any folder you can choose. And once that folder is selected, you can click on open. Then that particular folder will be your working directory for that session.
Hmm.
So it got shifted to the fourth panel.
Okay, the screen.
Yeah, yes, the screen.
Okay.
So first we need to set the directory and then get the directory, or first get the directory and then set the directory? It's first set the directory, right?
Yes.
So sir, we can set it in the next, like we can make a folder, separate folder, and create a
Yes.
separate folder and add to it. Na? In the next session we can do that, or do we need to do it right now?
Uh, you're
Because
saying tomorrow?
no, I'm just saying that in all the sources will be added. So for simplicity, we create a new folder to add to this, and we can put all the data in that folder. We can do that, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, you
Okay,
can set
fine,
a
sir.
folder. You can set a
Okay,
folder
sir.
as working directory, and then uh, if all of you have done it, let me move forward, right?
No, sir. I got the set directory. After open it, the directory set, and then what to do? Get WT
Then
and then.
then 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 I'm going to show you now what has to be done, right?
Oh,
So
acha, acha, acha. Okay, fine. Yeah.
now what I want to do is I want to export df1 to my computer, and it will be saved in the working directory.
Hmm.
So I've shared my entire screen just to show you that there is no file yet on my desktop. There will be a new file coming just below this day one here as soon as I write this upcoming command. Okay, the command is write.csv df1 is I want to just write this df1 onto my computer, and then I'm going to give it a name, right? And I'll call it df1.csv or anything abcd efg uh, dot csv, right? In quotes. I run it, and you can see this appearing here. Can you see that on my desktop? This file.
Yes, sir.
So just double click that, and here is that file. This is the data frame which I saved onto my desktop as a CSV. And now let me add some more data. XYZ, age 22, free male, false. I've added one more row in that file. Now I'm saving it. Save. Now I will import it. So suppose I have this data on my computer and I want to import read.csv, and what is the name of the file that I want to import? abcdefg.csv. And before this, I want to save it to some object. So let me call it A. So I will be reading this CSV from my computer and saving it to a object A, right? So I'm running this line. It says some error, final line, abcd.csv, separator, header,
So
file.
are you writing something in your console or something? I can't see anything. It's still
Yeah.
write.csv is the last line I can see.
Yes, sir. It's freezed, I guess.
Okay, I think it is lagging a little bit.
So I still didn't get but the gate working directory. Where first we set it, and then we have to just write gate WT. That's done. And then we are
No, no,
proceeding with this.
get WD is not required. Let me remove it. It's not.
Acha, acha.
You don't have to do.
We don't have to do anything. We just need to set the directory as of now.
Yes, yes.
And sir, what about this that you have written write.csv df1, so 72 line.
This I'm just writing. So I got some error here. So I'm looking into it. Okay, now is this I have read this file abcdefg.csv and I have saved it to A. Now I can view A.
So it's not there. It's the screen is froze, I guess.
Okay, let
The
me
last line I can see is
okay
right dot says.
let me stop.
Now it's coming. Warning message and all that thing is there.
Okay. Now I've stopped presenting and now I'll be sharing the window because I was sharing the screen. So sometimes it lags when you share the whole screen. So I'll share the window only. I think that will be better. Okay. Can you see everything now? Line 72, line 73.
Yes, now I can see
Now
that.
I'm viewing A. So that's my A. Okay, that was not saved. Actually, I wrote one more row in there. What was the name that I wrote? Can you remind me? Tell me. Anyone? Name.
Name of the files are A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Actually, when I rewrote the file, it was not saved at that time in my system. That's why I got some difficulty in importing. But I'm doing it now. Okay, I've done it now. So let me run this line number 72 again. Incomplete final line bound by the table on ABC. Okay. Okay, let me try another way. Okay, the same thing. It is due to the fact that I rewrote a few things on it, and it is not taking it. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, that final line it is not taking. I don't know what happened. Anyways, so I just reran this line 71. So of course that final line which I wrote was after this line 71. So the file got replaced, and then when I read it, it is reading it fine. But after writing that line, it is not reading it. I have to check why it's happening. Anyways, so line number 72, I'm reading the same file which is there, and it is reading it well. And then you can view A, the same file is there that was there. So that's how you can read and write file, you know, in and out of R, export and import data. So we will see many more examples, and not this is not the only way to do it. You can do it in XLSX format, or maybe any other format can be read and written uh, onto R using some special uh, packages, right? So this write.csv and read.csv is one way, and it is there in the base R, I believe. Uh, if it is working with you, were you able to do these lines 71, 72, 73?
Yes, sir. Right
So,
now we are able to.
so if it is working with you, that means this is in base R, right? Because you have not installed any package. For in my R, lots of packages are already installed. So many a times I don't know whether this is a base R thing or there is some package that it has used already. Anyways, so we will continue import and export tomorrow also, because a few more things to be understood in this regard. And we will devote maybe some half an hour to data transformation and manipulation quickly, and then we'll switch to visualization in the second hour tomorrow, right? That is our
Sure,
plan.
sir.
Actually, we got
Yes, sir.
late. I should have covered more ground today. I could not cover that much. So that's why tomorrow's 1 hour will be taken for this, the remaining part, which is important part. Although I left a few things, but still some things are important that those have to be done. So I'll do them tomorrow. All right. Now, finally, any question, general question, specific question, any suggestion, if you have, please feel free to speak and let me know.
Sir, are you using secondary data tomorrow for this data import thing?
Uh, I may not have to use it, but if you want, I can do that, because I'll write some file onto my system and read the same again. Or I can use some secondary data which is already there in my system. I'll share that with you, and we all of us will import that particular file. Uh, that can also be done.
So
So,
I was wishing to do it from a secondary source. That would be helpful when we do
So
this.
I'll do
So,
that. No problem. Yeah, I'll do that.
and the second thing, sir, are you going to take 3 hours tomorrow or 2 hours only? Like it's 7 to 9 only, na?
Yeah, 2 hours only, not 3 hours. But the first hour
Achha, achha.
will be the continuation of what we are doing because a few things are left. And because tomorrow was supposed to be visualization, right?
Achha.
But uh, we'll do
Okay.
it.
And sir,
So,
final question is, a new link will be given, right, for tomorrow?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So
That's all
very
from my side.
interesting session and very informative.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So one request from my end. So can you share this file
Yeah, I'll share
yesterday
this file.
also and today's also so that I can do it on my own and try to learn if I get any question tomorrow.
I'll do that. I'll share the this code so you can do it again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So thank you so much and see you tomorrow.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.